For years, Marvel was the king of the box office, with each release being a roaring success. Think back to the golden days. Marvel was a juggernaut, with every release smashing the $100 million mark as if it was child's play. Avengers? Endgame? That was a spectacle, raking in $1.2 billion domestically on opening weekend and eventually amassing almost $3 billion worldwide. Those were the days when Marvel could do no wrong. But now, the MCU, once the emblem of cinematic invincibility, is facing an unprecedented crisis. The numbers don't lie. A shocking 78% plummet in ticket sales for their latest releases, like The Marvels, 2023. It's not just a dip, it's a free fall. And for the first time ever, a Marvel movie has scraped together only $47 million domestically, falling disastrously short of the once standard $100 million mark. All these denoted one and only one thing: the Marvel Cinematic Universe lost its magic touch, and it's not just stumbling, it's collapsing. Remember when catching a Marvel movie was like a fun night out? Now, it's like signing up for a college course. There's just so much to keep up with. With all the new Disney Plus shows, it feels like Marvel's universe has become this massive jigsaw puzzle. And honestly, it's getting exhausting trying to fit all the pieces together. Fans are feeling it too. In addition, we've been bombarded with so many shows and movies that it's all starting to blend together. Remember the days when a new superhero flick was a big deal? Now, it's just Tuesday. This overkill is making it hard for even the most epic Marvel releases to stand out. All this expansion and overexposure is diluting what made Marvel special in the first place. It's not just about a superhero movie anymore. It's about keeping up with an entire universe. And that's a lot, even for the most hardcore fans. You know how sometimes when you get too much of a good thing, it stops feeling special? That's kind of what's happening with Marvel right now. But in Marvel's case, the quality has been deteriorated a lot. First off, there's this feeling that Marvel's just churning out content non-stop. It's like they're more focused on filling up the calendar than making sure each movie or show is a knockout. Fans and critics have started feeling it too. It's like every other week, there's a new Marvel something, and keeping up with it all is starting to feel like a chore, not a treat. As for casting and characters in Phase 4 and 5, we've seen some new faces, like Iman Vellani in Miss Marvel and Tashin Maslany in She-Hulk. But here's the thing, while it's awesome to see more diversity on screen, it feels like Marvel forgot an important part of the equation: writing really compelling characters. It's not enough to just have a diverse cast. These characters need to have depth, personality, and stories that make us care about them. It's like they're checking boxes rather than creating characters we can get attached to. And this isn't just about the new characters. Even some of the fan favorites from earlier phases are feeling a bit off lately. It's like the magic that made us love them in the first place is getting lost in the shuffle of this massive, ever-expanding universe. Marvel has gone from making incredible moments like the fight between Iron Man and Captain America in Captain America: Civil War, to She-Hulk and Megan Thee Stallion doing twerking together on screen. You guys saw the Marvels trailers, right? Packed with throwbacks to Iron Man, Captain America, but here's the thing. It seems like Marvel's leaning a bit too hard on the good old days. It's like they're trying to relive their glory moments instead of creating new ones. Then there's the post-credit scenes, which used to be the cherry on top of every Marvel movie, but now they've been a bit of a letdown. We're talking poor CGI, lack of texture. It's like the heart and effort that used to go into these iconic moments are fading away. So what's going on, Marvel? Are we just clinging to the past now, or are there some new tricks up your sleeve? Now let's talk about the lack of compelling villains. Remember Thanos? Big, purple, and impossible to ignore. He was the kind of villain that kept you hooked. But lately, in the MCU, there's a bit of a villain void. We almost witnessed the establishment of a new villain, being Kang the Conqueror. However, due to recent controversies, the actor playing Kang is no longer moving forward within the films. This leaves Marvel with a large gap to fill. The MCU has even been giving hints on completely changing the direction of this phase by focusing on a different villain like Doctor Doom. Some fans may enjoy this change, but many are disappointed, and they can't see a way that Marvel can turn this around. Remember when the Avengers first assembled? It was epic. It was new. But now, superheroes teaming up has become, well, normal. And with that, some of the excitement has fizzled out. It's like when you eat your favorite food every day, eventually, it loses its special taste. In addition, there's this feeling of aimlessness in the MCU now. Movies and shows seem to be doing their own thing without much connection to each other. It's like they're all chapters from different books rather than parts of the same story. Fans used to praise Marvel for its interconnected universe, but now it's starting to feel more like a multiverse of confusion than a well-oiled cinematic machine. The big question is, can Marvel find its way again? Can they rediscover that magic formula that made us all fall in love with their universe in the first place? The multiverse is a concept that's been both a blessing and a curse for the MCU. The idea itself is cool, right? Infinite possibilities, endless worlds. But the execution? That's where things get messy. The multiverse across different movies and shows has been inconsistent. One movie introduces a concept, and another seems to contradict it. Fans are left scratching their heads, trying to piece together a puzzle that doesn't quite fit. This lack of coherence has led to a feeling that the MCU doesn't really know where it's going with the multiverse. It's like they opened Pandora's box without a plan on how to deal with what comes out. The result? Confusion, contradictions, and a lot of fan theories trying to make sense of it all. Marvel, we love the ambition, but maybe it's time to get the multiverse map out and chart a clearer course. Take Doctor Strange, a character with immense potential, but recently he's felt more like a side character in his own story. And then there's Thor, the god of thunder, who somehow turned into more of a comic relief than the mighty hero we knew. What happened? It's like these well-established, beloved characters are not getting the spotlight they deserve. They're being pushed to the background, making way for new faces. But in doing so, Marvel's forgetting the heroes who helped build the universe in the first place. These characters have depth, history, and fan bases who want to see them shine, not just show up for a cameo. Marvel's been introducing new versions of our old favorites. A female Iron Man, a new Captain America, sounds exciting, right? But here's the thing, it hasn't been hitting the mark for a lot of fans. It's like, instead of creating totally new and original characters, they're just rehashing the old ones in different forms. This approach is just a lazy way to keep the legacy characters around without actually keeping them around. It's a tricky balance to strike, honoring the past while moving forward. But for fans, this just feels like Marvel's trying to have its cake and eat it too, without baking a new cake entirely, and sure, it don't work anymore. In the first 3 phases, Iron Man was the central character that tied everything together. But now, that central figure is missing. Characters like Doctor Strange, who could have stepped into those shoes, haven't quite filled them. This absence of a unifying character has left the MCU feeling a bit scattered. It's like each movie or show is an island unto itself, with no main character to anchor the overall narrative. This was one of the strengths of the earlier phases, that sense of connection and continuity. But in the latest phase, it feels like we're missing that one character who can pull all the threads together and give us a cohesive, compelling story to follow. As for the MCU, only time will tell what will unfold before us.